In this video, I'm going to show you the very next thing you should do once you've mastered the money beat. Let's go! How's it going, guys? My name is Carlos Plaza. I am the program director of the Drumming for All nonprofit. We'll talk more about them later in the video. But like I said at the beginning, if you've mastered the money beat, then this is the very next thing you should do. Trust me, you're in good hands. I am an online drum instructor, and I have taught this exact same thing a million times to a million students. So let's talk about the money beat. Let's play it. All right, so why is it called the money beat? Well, the joke is if you want to make money as a drummer, you have to learn that beat. Absolutely true. It really is just the most fundamental beat that every drummer should learn. And it's got the right amount of coordination. That's where you start. But what a lot of my students will get stuck on is like, what do I do next, right? So I would say before anything else, make sure that your money beat is about this speed. That's fast. That's no joke. That is a good tempo money beat. This is absolutely like beat number one for everybody. So first thing you want to do is make sure it's tight, make sure it's a little bit on the faster side, and then we can really kick it into another gear. So the very first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. The very first thing I want you to do is just add a note. Let's just add a single bass note right here. Let's play this one. Again, we didn't change too much. We just added a single bass note, and now I'm going to add another bass note in basically the same spot, meaning that this is just, you know, this beat played twice. Let's try this. Now let's change things up in a different way. I'm going to add another snare note. Okay, so very fun beat, but now I do want to just break away for a second and talk about how to count this before we move on any further. This is counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's how we count eighth notes. Now that we know how to count, what I've done is I've added a snare on the end of 2, but when we play this beat, it is definitely going to have a different vibe from the money beat. Let's hear it. Adding that second snare note changes things. It gives it like a bop feel. We're thinking like a 50s Beach Boys type of vibe with that double snare, boom, bop, bop, boom, bop, right? And then if I just squeeze this bass note, if I put it here instead, now we're really in bop territory. This is Beach Boys all day. Let's hear it. Good. If I add another bass note here, again, now we're just bopping along. Let's hear this one. Again, all I've done is just add some bass notes or some snare notes, not in random places, not yet, because I'm showing you kind of like, you know, these beats that emerge by just adding 1 or 2 snare notes. But now let's go totally random on it. Let me delete all these. And now with just the eighth notes on the top, now we can really go random and really explore things. And nothing I'm about to play is intentional. I'm really just trying to go random, except for a snare on 1 is a great deviation from the money beat. I'm just going to go totally random here. Okay, now what does this sound like? Let's play it. Okay, that is a cool beat, all right? And already at this point, I've shown you a couple beats, and anybody out there who, you know, is playing along with me or has been pausing the video and playing these, If you've played all of these perfect, then go to the end of the video and let me give you some harder stuff. But chances are, if you're watching this, it's because these beats have been kicking your butt. Maybe you've been watching this video now for weeks and working on these beats and getting those speeds up, right? So this is the whole point of this video. Instead of feeling like you have to learn a new beat by like learning a new song or by picking a new genre or by, you know, I don't want you to go down that road. I want you to go down this road. I want you to look at the beat written out, the money beat, and then I want you to explore the options based on what you're looking at. I'm a visual learner. So for me, it's like if I see it, so for example, if I'm looking at this beat, I can hear this beat in my head while I'm looking at it. Bop, boom, 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 bop, boom, bop, boom, 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 bop, boom. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. That's partially why that's happening. But I want you to develop that skill. I really want my students to understand how important it is to be able to read music because that cracks the whole thing wide open. Now I want to show you this same beat, but instead of eighth notes on the hi-hat, we're going to switch to quarter notes on the hi-hat, okay? And all I did was go from eighth notes on the hi-hat to quarter notes on the hi-hat. Let's hear this beat. Dude, that's cool. To me, that is a very cool feeling beat. Now, again, let's take this same beat and let's take those quarter notes out entirely and let's ask ourselves, what does this beat sound like without the hi-hats? Let's play it. This is what you do. You explore, you have fun, you kind of think a little bit randomly. Here are these 8 spots. All of these spots could have a bass note or a snare note or both, right? And I want you to start exploring your options instead of sitting around waiting for somebody to tell you like what the next beat is to learn. No, you know the money beat, that's the blueprint. That's all you need. You just build on top of that. Let's go back to our straight up eighth note money beat, right? I'm basically starting again with our money beat and I'm just gonna add some random notes, okay? So I took the snare note away from 4, so I'm deviating from the money beat, but I started with the money beat, right? Like I've been saying, and I'm just shifting stuff around and exploring, experimenting, messing around, having fun. It's called playing for a reason. Okay, let's check this beat out. This is what drummers do, and man, that is a fun beat. And again, I can already hear what this beat sounds like with quarter notes instead of eighth notes. It's gonna have a pretty cool feel to it. Dude, that's so cool. Now let's move on to some of the more advanced stuff. So here's our money beat, and this is on purpose. This is not gonna be random. I'm gonna add a snare note where I always add one when I start to talk to my students about adding 16th notes. By the way, if you are interested, I am an online drum instructor. My info is in the description. Shoot me an email. First lesson is always free. And depending on your financial situation, maybe every lesson is gonna be free because the Drumming for All program pays for drum lessons for kids around the world that can't afford them. Adults too. Please feel free to reach out if you would like drum lessons. Our motto is, you don't need permission to be a musician. Okay, so here is our money beat with just that one snare note at the end. Let's play this beat. Very popular beat. And before we move on, what I'm gonna do too, I'm gonna ghost this note. Okay, what does that mean? What is a ghosted note? Well, if you don't know, first lesson's free. The ghost note just means you're playing it quieter. And I'm surprised at how often I don't hear people specifically telling you that the easiest thing to do for your ghost notes is to make your ghost note and your hi-hat note volume the same. Your hi-hat note and your snare note are not gonna be the same because your snare is loud and powerful. That's more of like an accented note. But when you're ghosting, try to keep that hi-hat and that ghost note on the snare volume about the same. That's how you know how to like what the right volume is for your ghost note. Let's add something else. I'm going to add a 16th note on the bass drum. Let's hear this one. Good. Now, how do we count this, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right? This is a very cool beat. Let's play this one a little bit faster. All right, so again, let's add more, because the whole point of this video is what do I do after I've kind of mastered the money beat? And if you're here, it's because all those eighth note beats I played before, maybe they were kind of tricky for you, but over time you were able to play them. Again, I was just randomly adding bass notes and snare notes, which you should be able to do as well. I'm trying to encourage creativity and exploration in my students. Instead of just waiting for me to tell you what to do, just go figure it out on your own. You know, just play around and just jam. Just add notes in weird random places and explore your instrument. So let's continue to just add 16th notes. And I'm going to put one here very much on purpose. This is a really cool place for it. And I'm not going to ghost this one. I'm actually going to tell you specifically to accent this. And since I'm here, I might as well have you accent the snare on the 2 and 4, although that's kind of implied with any money beat. So now we're starting to fill up the 16th note space. Let's play this one with that accented snare note on the E. Love this beat. Love that accent on the E of 1. Very, very cool place for, that's, you know, it just kind of like hits you right out of the gate. Now let's keep going. I'm going to fill up every single spot. Ooh, this one's going to be fun. Okay, I said I wasn't going to complicate it, but dude, this is not an easy beat. Okay, so let's try it. Let's hear this beat. Obviously, you saw me do this in a matter of minutes. You've seen me play every version of these that we talked about, and you can feel free. There is going to be a PDF below. I should have mentioned that. But all of these beats will be available for you. And you know, explore these. Have fun with these. So the very last thing I want to do is I'm going to write a beat, and the very first person to text the name of this song to 610-200-9110 will earn 500 raffle tickets for the next raffle. Again, this is all because of the Drumming for All nonprofit. This YouTube channel is monetized, so watching these videos helps you know, get money to the program, which we use to pay for drum lessons. We pay for raffle items. We pay for gear. We just bought a full drum set for the Children's Home of Easton. I live in Pennsylvania, and it is a facility for children that are kind of transitioning, depending on the home life that they're in. Maybe they're transitioning to something else. And so they need lots of fun, cool, exciting things to do because, you know, God knows what they're dealing with. So big shout out to the Children's Home of Easton. And we did donate a drum set to them, and we're trying to get some drum lessons for the people over there. So that's what the Drumming for All program is all about. Even just watching this video is helping. So I'm going to write a beat. Text the name of the song. The first person to text that song to that number will get 500 raffle tickets. Let's do it. There's the beat. Text that number. If you know this beat, if you know what song this is from. This is a great example of, I have quarter notes on the hi-hat, and then I have 16th note, bass note, and snare notes bouncing around. This is a very cool beat. This is like the kind of beat that every drummer should work on. But it's not that different from what we were doing before. It's got a snare on 2 and 4. It's got a bass on 1 and 3, like they almost always do. And this is the example of what is the ultimate end result of you exploring the money beat and pushing it and and adding stuff to it, it's stuff like this. Any questions, of course, please reach out. You can put them in the comments. I am pretty good about getting into the comments and talking to people. If you don't have access to any drum equipment, but you still want to be a drummer, reach out. I've said it 10 times. First lesson's free. Financially, if you can't afford it, every lesson will be free. We will figure something out. Please reach out. We don't want any drummer to be left behind. We want everybody to get an opportunity to learn this awesome instrument. All right, I will stop talking. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.